There goes my high-speed target checker. He knows where to go. I'll tell you what, for the money, it's really hard not to like this Mossberg. I'm impressed with it because you're talking about a $300 centerfire rifle. The ejection is nice and positive, as is the feeding. No problems to feed. The magazine is plastic, but it doesn't rattle. And unlike a lot of economy rifles, it fits flush. Pretty good looking rifle as well. The bolt is extremely smooth. There's just no binding at all. So no worries there. So you're going to like the smooth bolt. The trigger, the LBA trigger, is excellent. Breaking at about 3 pounds. It's adjustable, I believe, from 2 to 7 pounds. And the recoil pad is also nice and soft, particularly in the center. So there's no padding here or anything, and it's a very, very comfortable gun to shoot. Fun gun to shoot. I also like the moderate raised cheek piece on the left side of the stock. So it's got a lot going for it. I'm just using the Citron 3x9x42 Big Sky scope, S2 Big Sky, which is a good combination. So a decent 3x9 and a 270, and with the right bullet you can hunt most anything in North America, and certainly African plains game I have, including elk, including moose. So my babbling is just to let this barrel cool a little bit. These Hornady bullets, tough bullet, 3,050 feet per second. With the standard test barrel, the Mossberg's a 22-inch barrel, so you're going to lose maybe 50 feet per second, if that. So you've got a real tough GMX bullet, gilding metal jacket bullet, that you can use on just about anything, from whitetail on up. It's plenty tough enough bullet for hogs, obviously. Perhaps that's why they're using the moniker full bore, but really just about anything up to certainly elk or Newfoundland moose. Does a good job. Use similar bullets on blue wildebeest, red hartebeest, and it's done a fine job in South Africa. But there's nothing more important than shot placement. So if you don't have confidence in a particular load, it's time to move on. But the wind's picking up a little bit. I think our barrel is it's a little bit warm, but it's cooled off quite a bit. So let's give her another 3 rounds with fresh paper and see how it does. Okay, we're switching over to our Hornady Superformance 130 grain GMX. You can see with a standard factory test barrel, you're looking at 3190 feet per second. And that'll drop off with the 22-inch barrel of the Mossberg, and other 22-inch 270s, maybe 50 feet per second, something like that. Not a tremendous drop off. So anyway, it's a pretty easy 350-yard load, regardless of what you're hunting. So let's see how it does. All these rifles are individuals, unfortunately. So every round is a new adventure. So that concludes this brief overview of the Mossberg Patriot. I like it. I like the stock design. I like the recoil pad. Everybody's going to love the price because this is as economical as it gets for a centerfire rifle. The magazine's easy to use, doesn't rattle. The feeding, as mentioned before, is excellent. The feeding and the extraction both, so that's good. The trigger is surprisingly good, and the LBA trigger from Mossberg, lightning bolt action, I believe it stands for. Really good, really a great trigger for an economy rifle. Better than most, better than even the Browning A-Bolt 3, which is a little more expensive. Certainly better than a Ruger American. So there's really not much to like. Sometimes you have to go through 5-6 types of ammo, but with the Hornady Super Performance, with the extra velocity and less wind drift, I would be inclined to use an 1.25" Super Performance load over, let's say, a 1-inch conventional load, because you do get less drop and less windage. Drop, of course, we can control, we can compensate for, but the windage, the wind's picking up right now, what it's doing here and what it's doing 200 yards down range, nobody really knows. We can just take an educated guess. You can try to read grass and brush and whatever, but nobody really knows. So if you get less wind drift, it makes your rifle effectively more field accurate every time. So when you get gusty crosswinds and you're not going to be able to get within 5-10 miles an hour at a couple hundred yards, it does make a difference between a nice clean shot and something that's too far back, etc., etc. So that's it for now, but Mossberg's done a fine job here, particularly for the price. I always try to find negatives, even on an economically priced rifle like this. And the only thing that I don't like, which is true of the Mossberg, it's also true of the Savage Edge, renamed the Axis, is that you don't have a bolt lock. So if you're on the type of hunt where you're doing a lot of crawling or going through heavy brush, of course, a slinged up rifle, you can inadvertently knock open your bolt if the bolt catches on brush. So as a generality, if we're not looking for economy, I want a rifle with a bolt lock, and this doesn't have it. Neither do other economically priced rifles. But that's not everybody, so that's up to you and the conditions you hunt. I think Mossberg's going to sell a ton of these. I said it's really well done for the price, amazingly so. There's a little bit of fluting here on the barrel. Stylistic. It's not deep enough to do anything substantial as far as the weight. And the same thing with the fluted bolt. I think it's a nice touch. It doesn't look trashy or gaudy. It looks good. But again, I don't think we're losing, between the two, maybe 3/4 of an ounce or an ounce. I don't think we're losing a lot of weight. So it's just more cosmetics than anything else. But it is a good looking rifle. It comes up beautifully. I mean, it fits me really nice. So that has a lot to do with it, is just how well you can shoulder the rifle. Sometimes you do have a lot of time, and sometimes you don't have any time at all. So if it's an offhand shot or leaning against a tree or something, you want something you can just slap up to your shoulder and take your animal. So that's it. Good job by Mossberg here. I think it's the best they've ever done, and really one of the best on the market for the money.